In this week's tutorial for WordPress, we're going to be continuing on with our WooCommerce series. In this specific video, we're going to be covering adding products to your product database. So we're going to go through, create some products, create some categories, and we're going to take a look at the range of options that are applicable when creating products. So let's take a look at all those options right now. In part 1 of our WooCommerce series, we went through and set everything up, so we've now got to follow on and start taking a look at adding products. If you didn't see the first video and you're new to dealing with WooCommerce, I'd recommend going back and checking that video out to make sure you've got everything set up the way you like it. In future videos, we're going to take a look at how we can actually set up various specific options such as delivery and things like that. But for now, let's crack on. We're starting to add products to our database. So I'm on the dashboard of my installation of WordPress, and as you can see down the left hand side, we've got WooCommerce and we've got products. So the first thing we're going to do is go and add a couple of categories for our products so we can make sure that we put the products into the relevant location. And when we start to build the navigation up, it's just going to make our lives just a little bit easier. So let's go and choose categories. That'll take us through, and we can now start creating some additional categories. So as you can see, we've already got one called widgets, which we created in the first video. Let's start creating some more. So for this example, I'm going to create 2 new categories, and we're going to deal with one that's for digital downloads, and we're going to deal with one for real physical products. And we can see the difference between the two when we start creating products. So the first one is we're going to call this ebooks, and we'll leave that to be, we'll leave that as standard. And we'll say add new product category, and we'll do the same again now for books. And we'll leave that as it is. Now you could, if you wanted to, upload a category image, but we'll take a look at that later and we start styling everything on our website itself. So let's just add that second category. So we now have 3 categories created, ready to start adding products. So let's go through and choose add products. And that's going to allow us to go and start creating our first product. So let's give that a name. So for this example, I'm going to use an ebook that I've recently written. So I'm going to come down and choose ebooks as my category. Next thing we'll do is put a product description in there. So I've already written that description, so I'm just going to paste that in there. So that's the description, the category setup. So the next thing we can do now is move on and start adding product images. So let's just choose set product image. I'm going to upload the images that I want to work with. So I've got a few different images on here, so I'm just going to upload all of them and then choose the one that I want. Now remember, it's always a good idea to make sure you put alt text to every image. Always good for the search engines and for anyone that uses screen readers or things like that. So we're going to put that in next. So I'm just going to put the same alt text for each one of these. Obviously it makes life easier if you put things like that are descriptive in there, but for now I'm just going to leave that set to the same for each one of these. And I'm going to use this one for the cover. So we're just going to set product image. So there we go, you can see now we have our product image set on there. If we put the wrong one in there, we can simply say remove product image, or we can click to edit or update it. And because I've got some additional products shots in here, I'm going to click on add product image to gallery, and then I'm going to choose all of the other images that we have available to us. And I'm just simply checking all of those to make sure that they've got ticks next to them, except for the one that's the cover. Add to gallery. So we now have a nice gallery of images that, depending upon the theme, they'll be laid out underneath the product or in a different layout that'll show the end user a couple of different variations of the product that they're going to take a look at. For the moment, we'll leave the product data and information as it is, and we'll come down to the short product description, which I'm going to put a short version of the product description in there. So we've got all of that laid out. So there's the basics of our product added. If we want to add some tags in there, we can do that, which I will. I'll just put in a couple of tags that I think are relevant. I'll separate those with a comma, and we'll put a couple more in there. And we'll just hit add. So we now have a couple of different tags that we can use to group our products together should a different product sort of fit into any of those categories. And now we're ready to go on and start putting the information about the product itself in there. So for this example, we're going to treat this one as if it was a real product, as in a physical book. So we're going to say it's a simple product. We're going to put the regular price in there, and we're going to call it $4.99 for argument's sake. We'll put it on sale for now, and we'll set it on as an offer price for $3.99. We can schedule that if we want to. So if we wanted that to run from a certain date to a certain date, we can do that. So we can say, well, let's run that from tomorrow, and we'll run it for a week. So we'll run that through until Friday the 15th. So that now will come into effect tomorrow and run until the 15th of this month, which is quite cool. If you don't have the time to keep up with making these changes, you can easily schedule a product to go on sale for a certain period of time and then forget about it, knowing that once that is finished, it'll be taken off and the product will go back to its normal price. If we want to deal with inventory, we can come in and choose that. Now, I am going to give this an SKU code, so we're going to call this one. So we've given that a code. If you're unsure what this is for, you can see that this is good for stock keeping units. It's an identifier that's distinct for each product. So if you use this, make sure that every product has a unique identifier, that you don't have duplicates. Otherwise, you're going to cause yourself confusion when it comes to dealing with stock keeping. If we want to, we can enable stock management. If I do that, you can see it opens up some additional options. So we can say, how many do we have in stock? Well, let's just say we've got 100 in stock for now. Do we want to allow people to back order? In other words, if it's out of stock, can they still place an order? Well, we don't want to do that because we don't know when it's going to come back in stock. But if you did, you've got the option to say do not allow, allow but notify the customer, and allow. And finally, we've got stock statuses. So you can see we can choose what to say if the product is in stock or out of stock. And we can also specify whether this is sold individually, so it only allows the customer to buy one of these at any given time. So if you're doing things like selling courses, or you've got a product that has to be shipped independently, then you can just check that box and they can only order one at a time, which again is pretty useful. So next up we have shipping. And as you can see, if we switch over to that, we've got a few different options available. We can go through and we can specify weight and dimensions of the product. So if we're dealing with a shipping method that deals with weight or size, then we can use that then to calculate the shipping. And that's something we'll take a look at when we start to deal with shipping in a lot more detail in a future video. But for now, we're going to leave that as it is. Now at the moment, we don't have any shipping classes set up, so I can't choose any shipping options. And what we'll do once we've put this product in, we'll jump over to shipping and we'll set a simple flat rate shipping, so we've got something to choose from. Linked products allows us to choose products that we think are related to what we're trying to sell. So say for example, we were selling a series of books, and if someone come in and purchase the first one, then we could have some additional books that could be volume 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, that would allow them to see exactly what they could purchase that's related to the product that we're selling them at the moment. So we've got upsells, cross-sells, and we can group products, and again we'll deal with those in a little bit more detail when we get into more depth about the various different kind of product options we have available. We then have attributes. And attributes are the kind of thing that, just say for example, you're dealing with a product that has various different options. So for example, you may have a t-shirt. That t-shirt may come in small, medium and large, and it may come in black, white and yellow. Well, there are quite a range of different options available there, because you can have small, medium and large in black, white and yellow. So you get quite a range of different combinations. And again, we'll take a look at attributes in a lot more detail in their own video, but the option is there for when you're ready to start adding products that have various different options associated with them. And then finally we have the advanced option, where we can apply purchase notes. We can specify the order within the menu structure this product is actually displayed at, and whether we want to allow or disallow reviews. So let's, for this example, we'll say we'll allow that. We'll say, yeah, we want to have reviews available on it. So we've put all the basic information in now. We've given the title, the description, the short description, the basic overview data of the product itself. We've added some gallery images, the product image, and we specified some tags and what category it's in. So we now hit publish. That will now add our book to our store, ready to start selling. So what we're going to do next is we're going to switch over to the front end of the site, and we'll take a look at what this looks like on the page. We'll then come back in and take a look at some of the other types of products we can add. So as you can see, the two products that we've created are now listed on our shop page. So if we click and go into the product, you can see everything we put in there is now displayed. So we've got our additional images are displayed below our main product image, and if we click on that, you can see it opens up and shows us a large picture. We can step through any of those by using the arrows to the left or the right. Our tags are already set up on this. You can see Adobe Lightroom, image editing, photography. So we had other products in there that fit into those, and we've applied those tags to it. We can easily click on there and filter the information out to show us all the products that match those particular tags. There's our short description, and if we come down underneath, you can see there's our full description, and we also have the option to allow to create reviews. So there's the basics of a product. If we click on add to basket, that'll take us through and we can start the purchase process. But let's go back in now and let's take a look at adding another product in there, which we're going to create a virtual product. In other words, a digital downloadable product. So we'll switch back over to the admin of the site. We'll come into products and we'll say add product. And we'll start creating our second product. So let's go through now and add our product information. So this is a practical guide to concert photography, another one of my ebooks. So we'll drop the description in there, do the same thing again, ebooks. We'll come down, set our product image. I'll upload a picture to that. And we'll put an alt tag in there. And set our product image. We'll just take this first paragraph and we'll use that in the short description. And we're going to put some more tags in this, which again we'll put in photography. And we'll leave it at that for now. So we'll add that in there. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're going to specify that this is now a downloadable product. So you can see that opens up a range of new options available to us. So we can go through, fill the relevant information out, and then we can start allowing people to purchase the digital copy. So we'll say the regular price is $3.99. We're not going to set the sale price or schedule that. What we are going to do is we're going to add this file in. So we'll just say choose the file, and I'll just upload that PDF file to my system. Now there are security issues with this, and in a future video we concentrate specifically on digital downloadable products. I'll show you how to put these in locations that are a lot more secure, away from the ability for people to be able to access those directly if they know what the link is on your server. But for now I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to say just go through the process to set the product up, insert the file, and that will go through, add that in for us. The number of downloads, so how many times can the person that purchased this download this particular product? Now I would recommend that for safety you put in a figure along the lines of 5 or 10 times, because the last thing you want is someone to keep on coming in, downloading. If they lose their copy of it, well, it's up to them then to either contact you to say they've lost their copy and you can check it out, decide what you want to do, or you can just then add extra limits to them so they can download it again. So let's just say we're going to allow them to download that 5 times. Enter the number of days before the download link expires. So let's just say that link is not going to stay active forever. So we'll say we'll give them 7 days to download that product. This means then that if someone accidentally finds that link, it's only applicable for 7 days. After that, it's gone and a new one will need to be submitted. We've then got the type of download. So you can see you have the option to have a standard product, an application or software, so people can buy that from you, or music. Well, this is a standard product, so we're going to say a standard, that's fine. Inventory, well, we're going to give it an SKU code. Again, remember, these have to be unique for every single product you add. I'm not going to enable stock management because at the end of the day, it's a digital product and I want to sell as many as I possibly can. So we're going to leave that as it is. And you can see this. Is this sold individually? Well, yeah, this kind of makes sense to have this as an individual product purchase. So we'll say they only buy one at a time because there's no point in buying tons and tons and tons of copies of it. Shipping is not applicable because we're dealing with a digital product, so that's not a problem. Do we want to apply any linked products? Well, let's just say we want to have the other ebook we've got on there, and we'll have that as an upsell, and we'll leave that as it is. That's fine. No attributes for this product, and under advanced we don't need to worry about that. We will enable reviews. So everything should now be in place. We put our title in, we specify the category it's in, the description, both long and short. We've set all the product data up, we've got a tag, and we've uploaded the product image. So everything is good to go. So let's just hit publish. That will now create the product, put everything into our database, and if we switch over to the front end of our site and refresh that, we can take a look at this new product now and see how those tags and everything work in relation to different products. So we're back on the front end of our website. As you can see now, the new product has been added in there. So if we now click on that, we go through and you can see that all the same settings are set up like before, but we now have the upsell or cross-sell section, so we may also like to have this other book, so we can sell through to that, which is a clickable link that will take you to that product, or you can add it to your basket directly. You can see we also have the tag, so if I click on photography, that will then go through and find all the books, all the products that have the tag photography associated with them, and I can do the same this way if I want. If I click on the Essential Lightroom book, if I click on, for example, image editing, this is the only book that's available, but if we had more, then we could easily go and sub-filter that down based upon the tags. And again, if I click on photography, you can see that both those books are now available. Okay, so before wrapping up this video on products, let's go through and create a simple shipping setting. So let's go through to our site. Let's go down to WooCommerce and settings. And under that section, we're going to go through to the shipping section and we're going to create a new shipping zone. So let's start off with our shipping zone, and we're just going to put this in as UK shipping zone. So we know exactly where it is, and we're going to select the region we want to work with, which is going to be United Kingdom, and we'll hit save changes. Once we've done that, we can now go in and choose a shipping method. So if we click to add a shipping method, you can see we can choose from flat rate, free shipping, or local pickup. So we're going to choose a flat rate for this example. I will click on add. That's our flat rate set up. We can now go through and put in the amount that a flat rate is going to charge. And this is where we can now start setting up some of the parameters we want to work with. So we've got flat rate, which we can leave that in there. So let's just put in flat rate shipping. Do we want to make it taxable? Yes or no? And how much is it going to cost? Well, we're going to say this is going to be $3.95. So we'll hit save changes on that. So we've done the first part of dealing with the shipping side of things. Now we need to do a couple of other things. If we go over to shipping classes, we're going to give this a shipping class. So we're going to say add a new shipping class, and this is what we're going to use to select the type of shipping that's going to be used in the product listings. So you'll see that it'll become clear in a moment. So we'll say standard UK shipping, and we'll just call this standard UK shipping to give it a description. Save that shipping class. Next, we're just going to go over to the shipping options section, and we're just going to make sure that everything is set up the way we want on there. So we can enable the shipping calculator on the basket page. We can hide the shipping cost until an address is entered. We can also deal with how the shipping destination actually calculates things. So is it based upon the customer's shipping address, the default to customer's billing address, or force the shipping to the customer's billing address? We have those three options available to us. Choose which you think is the most applicable to your circumstances. For my example, I'm going to specify that it defaults to the customer's shipping address, because that's the country or the location we're going to ship it to. That's the one that I want to sort of apply. So we'll hit save changes on there. And if we now go back to the shipping zones and we open up our flat rate shipping for the UK shipping zone, you can see we now have a couple of other things available on there because we've set the shipping classes and that up. So you can see these costs can optionally be added based upon the product shipping class. So these can be added on top of the actual flat rate shipping. So if you've got a specific class and you want to add a specific amount of extra cash on top of it, you can do that. You can say no shipping class cost or calculation type. How is it calculated? Per class, the charge the shipping for each shipping class individually, or per order, charge the shipping for the most expensive shipping class. Like I say, we'll get into more detail about how shipping classes and all that work. For now, we'll just leave that as it is, hit save changes to make sure everything is applied, and we should be good to go. So now let's go back to our products listing, and we'll go back to our product list, and we'll come into a physical product, which is going to be this 8 Essentials Adobe Lightroom Techniques, which I've inadvertently set to ebooks, which we'll change in a moment. So click on that. We'll come over, change that from ebooks to books, which is what it should be. Now if we open up the shipping section, you can see at the moment it says shipping, no shipping class. If we expand that, we now have standard UK shipping, which is the class we just set up. So we'll choose that, and all we need to do now is we'll come up and update that product. We'll now switch over to our products listing, and we'll go into our physical product we're going to sell. We'll click on that. Let's just add that to the basket. So the price at the moment is $4.99 for that particular book. We'll add that to the basket. We'll view our basket. At the moment, they're saying the shipping, there's no shipping methods available. Please check your address and contact us if you need any help. That's because we've specified that it has to go to the shipping address, and we haven't actually put any addresses in yet. Obviously, if your customer that was purchasing something had already set up an account, then their address would already be pre-filled out on there, so this wouldn't be seen. But if we click on proceed to checkout, we can then put our contact details in and our delivery address and so on, and that will then calculate the shipping based upon that address. So let's click on that and go over to that section now, and we'll see how that all works. So I've now gone through, put my billing and my shipping details in, and if we scroll down, we'll now see that the shipping has been calculated based upon my billing and my shipping address, and that's put the total amount in there for flat rate shipping. So our overall total is all set up, and we can now choose to pay by cash on delivery, or we can choose by PayPal, which are the payment gateways we set up in the first video. So that's setting up the basics of a simple flat rate shipping to one country. Like I said before, we'll take a look at shipping in a lot more detail in its own dedicated video. But for now, that's everything I wanted to cover in this video. So we've taken a look at add-in products, we've taken a look at digital products, we've taken a look at physical products, we've taken a look at tags and quite a few other things, all to do with creating our products. In the next video, we'll move on and we'll start to create more complicated products where we can apply different attributes and different options and things in there, so you can get a lot more control over exactly what you're selling. Well, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please hit that subscribe button below to be kept up to date with all of the new content we add every single week. If you have any comments or questions on this video or anything else covered on the channel, please pop those in the comment section below. So until next time, take care.